Welcome back to another episode on Journey to Authenticity, podcast helping you to become fully authentic on your journey to success. I'm your host, Braiden Belnap, and I'm a human just like you, striving to build a dream life, all while I stay true to myself. But what if you struggle with your body image, really developing your body to be the way that you want it to be? Maybe it's a weight problem and you need to lose some weight. Maybe it's a matter of building muscle. Maybe it's just a matter of simply maintaining. It's exactly why we have Caden Richards on the episode today. As growing up, he was 6'2", and he weighed 130 pounds. He was super small, and as a result of that, he lacked some confidence. With that in mind, he decided to take matters in his own hands. He transformed, coming down to his habits, starting small with pull-ups, push-ups, the basic routine. And over time, he's developed his diet, his workout routine, and resting. And not only has he mastered his body, he's mastered the mindset to go with it. As he's persevered through his journey, developing the body that he has today and consistently growing over time. With that in mind, welcome to the show, Caden Richards.
Thanks for having me.
Second time, this is the charm, right?
Yeah, it is.
First one was great, but that was a completely different set, so.
I like the setup.
More professional.
Yeah, it is.
It's been a journey over your podcast, number 10-something, and it's crazy that we're here.
How many have you done in between me and this one now, you think?
I'm guessing you were probably episode like 70, so
oh, really?
30, 40.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. It's a weekly thing. So I'm shooting a minimum of one episode a week.
Oh, nice.
Every week. So it's been good. Anyways, man, I'm super excited to have you on again. It was a great podcast. This first time you've like doubled in size. So I'm excited for the audience to get to pick from your knowledge.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So what inspired bodybuilding? Let's start there.
For me?
Yeah.
Actually, it was kind of like me and my friends. We used to watch a lot of shows together, just hanging out. We'd watch Green Arrow or something, and obviously he's jacked, and he'd be doing pull-ups in his dungeon and stuff. And we're like, dude, that's so cool. We got to do that. And so we just started doing pull-ups. Like we both had pull-up bars in our rooms, and every time we'd walk through, we'd like do a couple pull-ups, and then kind of went from there and turned into like calisthenics. And then we started trying to do all like those crazy body weight exercises and stuff like that. And we started seeing results from it. And then we're like, oh, we should try going to the gym and see if that gets us even bigger, because it's just kind of addicting to see like that progress and stuff like that. And then I also would watch my dad like every morning wake up and work out upstairs, and just his consistency with all that was really cool and inspiring for me. So I was like, I want to do that too.
Is he as big as you, or?
No, I've actually passed him up, which is kind of cool, but he's still like very fit and big.
You're like, Dad, I can
yeah,
kick your
I definitely got a lot of his, I got a lot of his good genetics.
That's awesome. Is he working out, eating clean,
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole thing?
He's so militant on it. Like he's on a carnivore diet right now, actually. And I think he's been on it for a couple months, and like literally has just been perfectly on it. Just never made any diet changes or got off of it at all. When he sticks to something, he just goes to the absolute extreme with it. And I feel like I kind of got some of that from him.
So like no sugar, no nothing.
Literally just like a steak for breakfast and ground beef, more steak, just beef all day. Only meat.
I think that solves a lot of health problems.
Oh, it does.
Nowadays.
Yeah. He had a really bad ulcerative colitis, if you know what that is.
No idea.
It's good. It's like, probably going to miss this. It's like inflammation in your gut, sort of, is like the simplest way I could explain it. It's just really hard to like eat and stuff because you're just in pain from that. And then you're just like irritable bowels and stuff like that. But
Sure.
He's just had problems with that forever, and it just makes it really hard to do a lot of things, or he just could never figure out like what he was eating that was like irritating him. So he just did that diet, and it just eliminated whatever it was that was irritating him. And now he feels so much better. And like, even just, he's had like back problems and things like that and joint pain, and it's like gone down a ton. So it's kind of crazy.
Well, it's like Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson. They have autoimmune disorder. And I'm pretty sure that the autoimmune disorder is what almost killed Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, it did, almost.
And he's just eating beef, carnivore diet, and now he's fine.
I know, it's crazy.
But apparently we're not supposed to eat meat, right?
Yeah, I know.
Just kidding.
I know. I saw a thing the other day where it was like, do the opposite of everything that the government tells you to do and you'll be healthier.
Literally.
It's kind of true.
Have you seen like the American diet that they suggest?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's literally like diabetes.
Yeah, it is.
How to get diabetes is what they should practically call it.
I remember like in school that triangle of like the food pyramid or whatever, and like the base was like carbs.
Yes.
It was so bad. Like carbs aren't bad, but like if that's the base of your diet, it's just sugar. It just turns into sugar as soon as you eat it. Like it's just not a good base to base your diet off of.
No, and there's certain things that they actually suggest, like Coke, like the soda. It's like, why are you guys suggesting Coke?
No, it's terrible. Like that's it's a sugar bomb that you drink. It's terrible for you.
Don't get me wrong. Probably once, maybe twice a year, I'll drink a soda.
Yeah, no, I drink it too.
But
sometimes
I'm not telling the world that it's healthy and it's good for certain sicknesses either.
I know everything's good in moderation, but not every day.
Absolutely. So your friends, your dad, sounds like you got a good circle of influence.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a win. Are your friends as big as you to this point, or did they stop at some point?
I do have the one friend that I started with. His name's Carter. He actually is like similar size. He's actually younger than me though, which is kind of crazy. He's 18 and I'm 20 right now. So, but
man, 2 years isn't that big of a
difference. No, it's not. But still, it's just kind of crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Though. Is he competing like you as well, or
no? He just does it for fun. Still, I told him he should, but he's like, I don't know, man. And then I was like, it's fun.
I think it'd be cool to do a competition, and you could speak on this. I just think it'd be a little awkward standing in like underwear on stage.
Yeah, you definitely are like in your most exposed state in front of like a group of people.
How was that the first time you went up on stage?
It actually, well, obviously it was terrifying because like that's not my thing at all. Like I hate being in front of people and like stuff like that. So it's kind of weird that I even like wanted to do that, but it just kind of was fun to like show off like my hard work and stuff like that. Sure. And the adrenaline rush from it, like after I got off, I was like, that was cool. Like that was really cool. Like just prepping for something for so long and then like executing it and then just being done with it. Like that was really fulfilling.
And you did good for your first show too.
Yeah, I did all right.
You ranked number 3?
It was 4.
4.
Yeah, 4th.
And for your first show, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it wasn't too bad.
I think you're being too hard on yourself. I think it was great. Like, I mean, they're not giving away the participating trophies like they do as a kid, which is a good thing because that makes you want to be like, you know what? Next time I'm going to get 3rd, 2nd, or 1st.
Yeah, true.
Do you have any more shows coming up that you are competing for?
Yeah, I'm actually going to do the same one. So I did the one in October last year, and I'm going to do the one in October this year. So see what happens.
Same. How do they segregate you? Is it based on weight? Is it like in boxing, it's weight class, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like similar to that. But so last year, it was just like a teen division because I think it was like 18 to 19 year olds. So I got to be in that one. And I don't think that one's by weight or anything like that. But this year, it's a little bit scarier because it just goes off of height, not age or weight or anything. So I'm probably going to be going up against like people that are like 25, 30 years old that are like 230 pounds, like that are 6'2" like me and stuff like that. And but it'll still be fun.
It'll be a good challenge. Yeah, you got to go in there and kick their butts.
Because you can still beat people if you have like because I compete in classic. So it's like the V-taper, small waist, big legs. And so like if there's somebody that's weighs way more than me, but they don't have that shape, then I could still probably beat them.
Oh, that's
so awesome. There's still a chance. That's why I was going to try it.
It's better to put yourself in a position to have a challenge than something that you know that you can win. Yeah. Because then it's just boring.
Yeah,
so
true.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in that, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So obviously the friends and the dad inspired this all, which is great. I feel like there has to be a why beneath all that still, because there's hardships too. It's dedication. It's day after day. What really kept you going to get to this point?
It was a lot of at first it was the physical benefits of it. I just looked better and stuff like that, and it was cool. My friends were doing it. And then as I kind of got more into it, I actually don't really train with them as much anymore because, like, you get older and you kind of like split ways and do different things like that. And I just realized how it was benefiting me mentally to just be able to like go in the gym and just have time to just think to myself and kind of meditate and do something hard and just accomplish something every day. Even if everything else in that day went wrong and I could still go to the gym and complete that, then it was a good day. It just kind of kept me going. It was just that one thing that I could accomplish.
I love that. So were you always naturally bigger, or what was that like?
Yeah, no, I've been skinny my whole life. I was like 6'2" at like 130 pounds. So I was really skinny. I was like a stick. So that was pretty hard to eat enough food to get bigger, because I was just like, because I could eat whatever I want right now and just like never get fat at all or gain any. I have to like shove myself full of food. I usually, like right now, I eat like 4 or 5 meals a day, sometimes 6, just to be able to get it in. And most of those I don't want to eat just to get bigger and grow, like give myself the fuel.
What's like when you were 6'2", 130 pounds, what was your confidence like?
It was all right. It wasn't like the best. I kind of was like a lot more self-conscious about myself, and I didn't have a lot of self-confidence at all, just because I wasn't really working towards anything. And like, and I'm growing up, like you don't really have a lot of self-confidence when you're like 15 anyway. So it's kind of like, I'm just building that on top of it. So that kind of gave me a little source of self-confidence where I'm like, I'm working hard on this thing secretly and I know it and I'm proud of myself. And so that kind of like built that up a lot more.
So you say secretly, so is it like, I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm doing this, I'm just going to go do it?
Yeah.
Show the world?
I've never really been the type of person to just be like, oh, look at me, like look at my arms, I'm getting so big at the gym, like look at this, I'm doing that. I kind of just like went and just did it because I'm more introverted. I don't want to be that guy that's just like doing that.
Fair. I think you should show the world what you've done. I mean you are, obviously.
Yeah.
But again, like we did our podcast maybe a year-ish ago, 6 months ago. Time flies.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
You're like almost double his size. Like it's like awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you feel like gaining the muscle has increased your confidence in life, definitely. In yourself, all of the above?
Yeah, and just all of like the opportunities that it's given me, like just like being on your podcast and stuff like that, and just talking to people, or like having people come up to me like, bro, how did you do that? That just kind of like helped me build that. It's like, oh, what I'm doing is kind of cool. Like, I guess people don't normally do this. Like, it's kind of like my thing. So it's just cool to have like a little project to just having something like that you're working on. I feel like builds your confidence a lot. Absolutely.
How often do you feel people come up to you and say like, this is awesome, you look good, how do I do that?
It feels like it's pretty often. I just be sitting, I don't really talk to people much at the gym, so all of the friends that I've made there have just come up to me and been like, hey bro, like how did you do that? Like, could you show me how to do this or something like that? Just happens every once in a while, and like then they end up being kind of a friend.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
I mean, results show, right?
Yeah.
It's a physical attribute to be like, hey, like I consistently did this without quitting, and this is the result.
Yeah, you get to carry around your progress with you.
And unfortunately, everybody has all their accomplishments or failures attached to them. You've just decided to make it your body.
Yeah, just externalized it.
Which the truth is everybody should.
Yeah.
Like not everybody needs to be a bodybuilder, but everybody should be prioritizing their body.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you're sick, you have nothing.
No, yeah.
Like I was sick 2 weeks ago, and even though I wanted to work, like I literally couldn't. If I was standing up, I felt like I was going to throw up everywhere. Like there's no way I was working.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like you just can't do anything. You're not mentally well if you're not physically well.
And if you're working out, you're eating right, you're sticking to some sort of diet. Not that I think that everybody needs to be on a strict diet. I do feel diet is important personally. you're going to get sick less.
Yeah,
you're going to live longer.
Yeah.
You're going to have longevity instead of living till 90 and not being able to have as much fun when you're 50. You get to have fun until you're 70 or 80.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, you like, what is that saying? It's like you can't add more days to your life, but you can add more life to your days. It's kind of like that. Like, why would you not make it more enjoyable while you're here, or like easier to do things and just enjoy life with your family? Like, I want to be able to like play with my kids when I'm older. I don't want to just be bedridden and be like, oh yeah, just go do your own thing. Like, I can't do anything. Like, that's horrible.
Or go on vacation. Like, yeah, you guys go swim in the ocean. I don't want to because you're self-conscious to take your shirt off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just take your shirt off and go swim with your kids.
Go like experience life and just not worry.
It's like, it's not always for you, right? It's also for the ones that you love. Like, naturally, you being healthy, it benefits everybody around you.
Yeah, it does.
Like, it's selfish to be fat.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. And people don't want to hear that.
No.
Like,
and it's not to say that I'm saying that to trigger anybody out there that's obese. It's just the truth. Like, if you cared about yourself enough to say, you know what? I love my kids so much and I want to give them the experience of being a true father or a mother. Like, if me hurting your feelings a little bit allows you to go gift that to your kids, I'm willing to hurt your feelings.
yeah. Like, if you won't do it for yourself, just at least do it for them.
Well, the truth is also it comes down to negotiating. I've lost 35 pounds this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Which is...
that's quite a bit.
Yeah. But the truth is, I didn't realize. I'm a pretty self-aware individual, right?
Yeah.
But I found myself this past year negotiating with myself because when I graduated high school, I was fairly skinny as well. I was like 150 pounds. Like, I wasn't at, well, I would say, because you're 6'2", 130, I'm 5'9", 150. So you were certainly a lot skinnier than me, but I was still a twig, just not as twiggy maybe. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But after high school, it was just the 1, 2, 3 extra pounds each year, up to the point of...
Yeah, it's so slow that you don't really know. You just kind of like let it slip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then one day you're like, oh crap, I'm like 30 pounds heavier.
Like, I wasn't fat, but I was getting comfortable, we'll say. And you start to negotiate with yourself. You look in the mirror. Oh, I can kind of see that six pack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You start to negotiate with yourself.
Not gone yet. I've still got a little while left to change.
Yeah. And everybody does that. They negotiate with their relationship. So the way I yelled at my wife last night was okay because I gave her a massage. Like, no, like, your behavior is clearly not okay. So make it not okay so you can change. And so the moment that I decided to change, I've only reaped the benefits. Now, you also don't need to be 100 pounds overweight to change your life. You don't need to be crazy amount in debt to change your life. You don't need to be working at McDonald's to decide that you want to be an entrepreneur and make a lot of money. Like, you don't need to be at the deepest pit in your life to be able to choose to change. You can just change now. And it's a choice.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything big. And then it will probably keep you from getting to that because it's just harder the more you fall. Like, the deeper you go into that, the harder the recovery from it's going to be. So just save yourself now.
Lack of confidence, mental health, so on and so forth. So let's talk about your journey. You went from, was it Green Light? What was that movie called?
Oh, the Green Arrow movie.
The Green Arrow. Yeah. Okay.
Or I mean, there's a bunch of episodes on Netflix. Yeah.
Isn't that? I have seen a couple of those. I haven't watched all of them. Any superhero movie, there's usually some jacked individual. Yeah. Iron Man's my favorite. He's not the jacked one, but he is my favorite.
I think he's still pretty fit though. I can't remember, but yeah.
He's fairly fit. I mean, you have to be. Yeah.
Mentally fit.
Yeah. Definitely. To be a billionaire and be a superhero at the same time. Let's go. Anyways, and you started to do pull-ups. What was your journey like up to the point where you started to decide, I'm going to be a bodybuilder?
So yeah, it just started with that just little thing, like building a little habit every day of just like me and my friend told each other, like, hey, every time you walk through the door, you have to do 5 pull-ups, and every time you walk out, you have to do 5 pull-ups. And we'd run into our rooms all the time to go grab stuff. So we always did pull-ups. So it ended up being probably like 100 a day of pull-ups or something. And so just building like that little habit, and then we'd add something else on top of it where it's like, oh, we should do like some crunches at night or something like that. And then we'd like say that we would do that at home. And so we did that on top of the pull-ups. And then you kind of just slowly like add more and more things till I kind of had like a little workout routine that I would do every night, where it was like 10 minutes of like pull-ups, do a few sets of that, then push-ups, do that, and then I'd do some crunches, and then I'd go to bed. So it just kind of started from there. And then we learned kind of like what sets were and stuff like that, and like how many reps you should do, kind of like getting into the gym type of stuff. And then we did that. And then my dad had like a little resistance band workout thing upstairs that you could do like squats on and curls and things like that. And so we would get on that when we would hang out, or I'd do it by myself. And that was kind of like the closest that I got to actually weightlifting. And then he also had some like little adjustable dumbbells up there and stuff, so we could do like curls with that. And then I would grab my like little couch ottoman thing that you'd put your legs on, and then I'd use that as like a little bench, and I'd like get the dumbbells and start doing like benching the dumbbells and stuff like that. And then we were like, oh, I realized that our family bought like a family rec center pass, and they have a gym there, so let's just go try that. And then went there, and we kind of did like our calisthenics workouts. We'd do like pull-ups and stuff. We didn't actually use like the gym machines because like we didn't know how to do that, because we've just been doing body weight stuff. And then one day we were just like, oh, let's try like doing some of these machines, and then just kind of led on from there.
And for anybody listening that isn't sure of that terminology, kinesthetics
or calisthenics.
Calisthenics. What is that?
It's just like body weight exercises, just no weight, just kind of like, yeah, just push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, things like that. Just doesn't require a gym. Like you could go to a park and do it.
Okay, I love that. So started off with push-ups, pull-ups, just general working out at home, to some free weights, starting to hit some of the machines, and now you're here, which is insane.
Fell down the slippery slope.
But I will say to that, it usually is the smaller habits that make the bigger, in my opinion, the bigger transformations, because I haven't stepped foot in a gym this year and I've lost 35 pounds. So to your point, like, sure, there were 2 different goals. You started small to build muscle. I started small to lose weight. You don't need a gym.
No, you don't. You can really start with anything. Like, just as long as you're doing something to like improve your life or your health, like that's great.
Absolutely. So for anybody starting, wanting to build muscle, would you tell them to start in the same place, or where would you tell them to start now?
Probably. It kind of depends on like what scenario you're in. Like if you're overweight and really self-conscious, like the gym probably wouldn't be the best place for you to go. Not that the people are gonna judge you and stuff like that. I actually love seeing like overweight people in the gym. Like I'm like, heck yeah, go get it. Like I know, like I don't know how hard that is because I've never been overweight, but I know what it's like to be new in a gym and just kind of like thinking everyone's like judging you because you're small or you're big or whatever. But like, I can guarantee you that most of the people in there are like cheering for you silently.
Absolutely. Well, they were in their deepest pits at that point, right? Yeah. Probably spirit, mentally, and physically. And they're the ones that were inspired, whether that was, as we talked before, for themselves or for their kids, to say, I want to live a better life. And that's so exciting.
Yeah, it's great to see people doing that. But like back to that, like if you're overweight, like just do things at home. Like you can even just go on a walk, just like do exercises that are enjoyable to you, and it'll keep you like more consistent. Like if you like to go on a walk or whatever, just start there and just build up from that and just add little habits. Because I still do that right now. Like when I don't want to go to the gym, even though I love bodybuilding, like it's still very hard, like especially leg days. Those are brutal. I like just do exercises that I like to do, so it keeps me motivated and going, and then you're more likely to stick with it and also go harder on it. But yeah, you can start from really anywhere, honestly.
That's powerful. what is it? I saw this guy, and I don't know what his name is or his social media, but when you were saying that, it made me think of him because his story is pretty inspiring. And he was pretty overweight, and he just started skateboarding. Like, he skateboarded as a kid. He loved it. He hadn't skateboarded for years. And he didn't want to go to the gym either. But he got news from his doctor that he's practically on the trajectory of death at this point because he was so overweight. Anyways, he's like skinny now and thriving because he just decided to say, you know what, I don't want to go to the gym, but I want to skateboard again. So he just started skateboarding.
Yeah, I've heard of that guy before. It's crazy. Like, just any activity will improve your body. Like, you just have to move. It doesn't matter how. Like, you don't have to be a crazy bodybuilder that just goes 6 times a week more training. Like, you could just go on a hike or, skateboard like that. Just anything.
Anything just to move your body.
Yeah.
So how often do you work out now?
It's a little bit complicated because it's kind of a different training style. So I will because I adjust my volume based on like how much or how well I'm recovering, which is just by feeling. So I still do push-pull leg schedule. So like, chest, shoulders, triceps, back and biceps. I'll usually do those 2 in a row, and then I'll take a rest day because my body's pretty wrecked from that. And then I'll do legs, which is another like huge body part that'll overload your nervous system. So then I'll rest after that usually, and then get back to it. So I'd say like, I think what that would be, like 4 times a week or something like that, maybe.
But you're working out for like an hour a day, right?
But it's like very intense training. That's why I have to have those rest days in it. Like that hour is like very
laser focused. Yeah. We were talking before the podcast, like, you're not texting, you're not on social media scrolling. When you're there, you're there.
Yeah.
So
fully present.
Is there like a name for what type of training you do?
You mean just like the split that I do, or just the style of it?
The style, yeah.
I guess it's kind of just bodybuilding. It's just kind of like, there's a lot of different ways that you can train. That's just one I've chose that kind of works with me and just how I feel. It's a lot based on like just what you feel, honestly, because like I know my body, so no one else can really like tell me how I should be training. And so if I see results from it and I'm recovering and everything seems to be like on an upward slope, then I just keep it the same.
That's fair.
Or adjust things a little bit to keep it going up.
What comes to mind with that is, I know this sounds interesting, and I feel like this comes down to mentality of a bodybuilder, you could say. But the concept of, like, there's an act of, I hate to put in this perspective, but it's a mindset that I used to operate out of a lot in life, and I feel like a lot of people still operate out of it in life, is I have to do X, Y, Z in order to be enough. So my thought process is, for the people out there saying, I have to work out 5 times a week to feel good enough, to be enough. How do you just let yourself take a break day without feeling crappy about yourself?
It definitely was hard in the beginning because I actually dealt with like a lot of overtraining and stuff like that. Like my appetite would get terrible and like I wouldn't be able to sleep, and I was just like sore, and the weight I was lifting was just slowly going downhill. And I was like, I probably should change that, but I had that in my mind where I was like, I'm not good enough if I don't go to the gym every day. Like I won't feel good about myself unless I accomplish that. But then I just had to sit there and kind of realize, like, is this actually benefiting me like you want it to? Because the gym should be benefiting you, not hurting you. So I kind of just had to assess it and look at it like that. And then it changed my mindset on like what my goal actually is, and it's getting results. And the way I was doing it was not the right way. It got me a lot of progress in the beginning because when you're a new lifter, like you can take tons of stimulus because like you're not lifting as much weight as like an advanced lifter would and stuff like that, and you're just like packing on muscle like crazy and you can recover. But once your weight starts going up that you're lifting and stuff like that, it's more stress on your nervous system and everything, and so you kind of have to like taper back on it a little bit.
So that's fair, and I like that concept of, it's essentially choosing your goal, right? Hey, this is my goal, and what's my schedule, what's my process, what's my plan to get there, and then executing it. what I'm hearing from you is you had that goal. You determined in order to get there, I only need to work out 4 times a week. That's what's right for my body. And that's what made it more able to, you would be more able, okay, to say, I have a day off and that's okay.
Yeah. It would let me just kind of relax my mind and just tell myself, like, you're on the path up still, even though you're resting today. And I know you want to go, like, that's where your muscle is built, is outside of the gym and when you're recovering and sleeping and stuff like that. So that's where it's really happening. It's not happening in the gym, it's afterwards. So I just kind of had to keep telling myself that. And I'm like, you're on the upward, don't go. Like, because I love going to the gym. It's so, like, it's fun thing to do, but I need to find like other things to do as well.
So what are the other things you do outside of the gym that you find to pass time by that you enjoy?
Well, I work a lot right now, so that's kind of taking up a lot of the time, which is good because I switched up my schedule before that happened. So if I were to like try to go to the gym like every single day, it probably wouldn't work out most of the time, and it'd stress me out a lot. Probably hurt me more because I'm using my body to work and then I'm going to the gym and destroying it and overtraining. So it's just kind of like, it's probably good timing.
That's
that I
fair.
figured out that schedule.
And you find enjoyment in work. Is that fair to say, or is it just work?
No, definitely. Yeah. Because I'm pretty young, but like I have that hunger too to just like make more money. I'm sure like most people my age have that, or a lot of people do, but it's just like satisfying to just like see money in your bank account, I guess. I'm sure that's for most people.
Everybody has the desire to make money. Most people don't make money.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, especially in our generation, because inflation's up like what, over the last couple of years, like 25%.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like in a year's worth of time, like an average household, don't quote me on this, went up by like $100,000.
Oh yeah, I bet that's true.
It's like,
it's insane. Like if you want to go rent somewhere, like you might as well buy a house at this point because the rent is like as much as a mortgage payment.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
And the average individual in the past bought their first house at like 32.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's going to be like nowadays.
It's going to be like in the 50s or something.
Exactly. And that's where it's just a matter of actually executing your plan, right? Everybody wants to have the body that you have. Let's be real. Like, I would love to have that body. I feel good about my body. I'd love to have more muscle. I'm working towards that. Am I willing to execute it? Yes, I am. How many other people are willing to execute that? Everybody wants to be skinny and fit, right?
But not many people like actually know what it takes to get to that point, unless you try. And then once you do, then you're like, oh yeah, I have more respect for this person now because I tried it.
Everybody wants to have money in their bank account. How many people are willing to actually execute? How many people are actually willing to say, hey, no, I don't want to go to the bar tonight to work extra on my project? Like, how many people are willing to say no?
Yeah, just to sacrifice the little things in life.
Because in my opinion, I mean, I'm not at your level yet, and the but is, as far as I'm concerned, it's not necessarily about adding in your life. It's about taking away at first.
Yeah.
Like if you want to, let's just say, make more money, maybe it's not about making more money. Maybe it's about actually clipping up what you're doing wrong. Are you spending too much money? Like if you want to get fit, maybe it's not a matter of working out more. If you're already working out 3-4 times a week, maybe it's just cutting out all the sugar that you're eating every day.
Yeah, just all the bad habits.
Just let's cut out the bad, and then naturally we can add to the good habits.
Yeah, just replace bad habits with good ones. Yeah,
exactly.
It's pretty simple.
So back to you. To me, when I'm thinking body, there's dieting, there's working out, and then there's like your resting, things of that nature. What percentage would you say is diet? What percentage would you say is working out? What percentage would you say is resting to be able to actually develop an efficient body and goal?
I definitely would say that diet is like the most of the equation of that, for sure. You could not even go to the gym and you could just live your normal life and just change your diet up and see like huge results from that. So I'd say honestly, like if I had to put it in percentage, probably like 70% of is diet. And then maybe 20% of it's actually like going to the gym and stuff like that, or doing something active. And then like, I don't know, that doesn't really work though, because recovery is also really important with that. I don't want to just leave 10% of that, but I would say diet is probably the most important thing.
So diet, working out, then resting.
Yeah.
Does everybody need to eat as much as you to be able to build muscle, lose weight, all of
No,
that?
definitely not. Yeah, I know it's all individual. Like everybody's bodies are different, and it depends on your goals as well, because not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, like I said before, because that's all I think about all day. I have to think about when I'm going to eat my next meal. Am I drinking enough water? Like, am I sleeping perfectly enough hours? There's tons of things. Am I training hard enough? Like, it's just, I'm thinking about it 24/7. It never leaves. It's not like I just go to the gym and then I just don't think about it afterwards. It follows me around all day.
That's fair. So how does one person figure out what's right for them?
So if someone wanted to lose weight, there's a ton of online calculators of just like what your maintenance calories would be. And you can just put in like your weight and your BMI, and then it will just calculate like what your maintenance is. It's not like 100% accurate, but it's pretty close.
At least gets you started.
And then you can just eat, I think it's 300 calories below that. And like, I mean, it's a pain to track your food and stuff like that, but if you're serious about it, like losing weight, then I would recommend that. But you just eat that little bit less. You might not even notice it, and just you'll start losing weight like crazy, or at least figure out what your maintenance is, so you can kind of like compare that to how much you're eating now, and you can kind of show yourself like how much you're actually overeating and stuff like that, and maybe help you knock it down a little bit. But that's what I'd recommend for probably losing weight, but also gaining weight. You can figure out what your maintenance calories is, like I did, and then what you need to eat over that, which is usually like 500 calories, and then you'll start gaining weight.
Just naturally.
Yeah.
So how do you determine what types of food to eat? Like there's carbs, there's meats, there's proteins, there's fats. Like how do you determine the ratio between those three to determine how to lose weight or how to gain weight?
Yeah, definitely most of those calories should be coming from protein. Like I'm pretty sure you want to eat it. 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I usually eat like a gram though of protein, so I usually eat like 215 plus grams of protein a day. But that's a lot of food and stuff like that, so, and a lot of calories. But if you're trying to lose weight and you have like a high protein diet, your body will actually like start recompositioning itself and using that'll kind of turn your fat into muscle and stuff like that and give you a lot of energy. But I would recommend most of it, the calories be protein, but as long as you're staying under that maintenance, it doesn't really, or whatever your calorie goal is, it doesn't really matter what you eat if it's mostly protein.
So what I'm hearing is it's okay to still eat a donut once in a while.
Yeah, like well, I mean, it's like, yeah, you don't want to like eat unhealthy, but technically if you did, like if my maintenance calories were like 3,000 and I wanted to lose a little bit of weight, so I'd eat like 2,700, I could eat all 2,700 calories of just donuts and I would still lose weight, just because it's just calories in, calories out type of like, you still burn the same, like it's still the same amount of calories no matter what kind of food it is. I don't recommend that, but I would definitely eat healthier, but it will work.
Imagine that being like a YouTube channel, like obese person figures out how to just eat sugar purely and loses weight.
I'm sure somebody's done it before. It has to be.
That honestly would hit. I feel like people would watch that. I would watch that. And I'd still be rooting them on because at least they still have a good goal of losing weight.
You wouldn't be able to eat that many donuts though. I think that's probably only like, I don't know, maybe like 5 donuts for your entire day that you can have. And then that's all you get to eat. You'd be pretty hungry still.
Yeah, you would be hungry. Which comes to mind, okay, so as far as calories go, is there a ratio, like should somebody be shooting to lose a certain amount of calories each day alongside that?
You mean like to lose weight? Like once you figure out your maintenance?
Like I just have, and by the way, this is a goal that I just set on my Apple Watch. It's not necessarily something I've calculated, but I have to set 500 calories a day.
Oh, to burn that?
To burn that each day. Should you be shooting to burn a certain amount of calories per day alongside that?
I mean, so that's like kind of the thing with the calories in, calories out thing. Like if you figure out what your maintenance amount of calories is and you don't burn any calories all day, like you just sit around doing nothing, like you don't have anything to track it, then you have to eat like that 300 less calories. Or you could eat your maintenance amount of, or over that, and then burn 500 calories, and then you can eat more, but you have to trade off with more activity to burn it off. So it works both ways.
Okay. So your maintenance is literally to stay the exact same weight.
Yeah.
Taking off 300 is the act of, if you sit around doing nothing, then I'll still lose weight.
Yeah.
By working out or even just being active, that would take into consideration of losing weight at a more efficient level or gaining weight.
Yeah, because you're still burning that either way. You'd burn off that 500 calories and then you could eat 500 calories, but you're just burning it off. You just choose to either eat more and train and then burn off more calories, or don't train and then you just eat less.
Of course. So is this, I'm assuming, I'd love for you to correct me, I'm assuming the reason that bodybuilders are known to meal prep is because they eat so much?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a pain to like go down into the kitchen and make like 5 meals a day. And then it keeps you on it more because it's way easier to like keep the habit of just like pulling it out of the fridge and chugging it in the microwave and eating it than having to go downstairs and like defrost all the meat and stuff like that, boil things and like cook an entire meal. It's just way easier to just stay on it, and it's also more convenient because you're not always home. So I can just carry those containers with me in like a cooler wherever I go and stop at a gas station and heat it up real quick and like.
Of course.
Yeah.
Is there food in that backpack?
You bet.
I love it. Did you bring me some? Just kidding.
There's only one in there. Sorry.
No, it's a joke. So how do you meal prep? Like, what's your process?
It's a lot of ground beef and like noodles and stuff like that, and just protein and carbs right now because I'm just trying to get and it also has a lot of calories in it because I need the calories and I also need the carbs to be able to have energy to train, and then also the protein obviously for muscle gain and recovery and things like that.
You say noodles. What kind of noodles are you eating with your food?
Well, right now I eat like the weirdest stuff right now just because I like making like really simple food that I'm not really going to get sick of. So I literally just have like a pound of ground beef in there and mac and cheese. So it's great.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, mac and cheese.
Really?
It's
Okay.
way good.
You really are showing that you can not eat the quote unquote the best thing in the world and still be gaining muscle. That's a big mindset shift, I feel like, for a lot of people, and me, by the way. Like the concept of eating mac and cheese, I'm thinking like, I can't gain muscle and be good if I'm eating mac and cheese. That's my lack of knowledge, though.
No, yeah, it'll help you actually. If you're trying to gain weight, you have to up your calories and you have to gain a little bit of fat to be able to like gain weight.
I love that. So for somebody wanting to be a stickler on their diet, similar to you, like I want to eat this much, this is what I want to eat in order to lose or gain weight, where can they start to learn how to customize their own diets?
There's an app called MyFitnessPal actually, and you can just like look up all of the macros of like really any food. I think they have pretty much everything on there. So you could just find things that you like to eat already or healthier options that you want to try and see how many calories are in it, how much protein is in it, and then make that and then portion it out so that you can eat it throughout the day. And just there's a lot of recipes online too. Like you can find anything on the internet. There's tons of meal prep videos and guides and everything like that to make like good tasting healthy food. You can make good food that is good for you at the same time, I guess, and then also be satiating and not have you like starving all day, because proteins is like very satiating. So you could just eat a lot of that and then you won't feel the need to eat. Yeah,
because it's harder to break down, or
it takes way longer to digest. And I don't know exactly like how it is scientifically that it makes you more satiated, but that's why if you like go eat out all the time and you eat like McDonald's and stuff, it like makes you more hungry because carbs make you more hungry, and
Sick.
just digesting it super fast, and it's just a lot of sugar. Sugar is addictive and things like that.
It's like a sugar spike too, which I feel like, I don't know, for me, when I feel like I ever have a sugar spike, it's almost like I crave more food because it's like I feel like crap. So I want to get something good in my stomach.
It's actually because like, so when your insulin spikes, or I mean when your sugar spikes, your body like responds by giving you insulin. So it opens up your cells actually to like accept more nutrients, so it makes you more hungry.
Interesting.
So sometimes I like take advantage of that. Like after the gym, I'll put this stuff called dextrose powder in like my shakes and stuff. And it's just like pretty much sugar. It's just like the purest form of like powdered carbs. And so it'll spike my blood sugar so it's open so that it can accept more nutrients and I can digest more of that protein, and also like refill the glycogen stores in my muscles that get like depleted from working out and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So there's like a lot that goes into it.
My wife calls me a closet nerd. You're like a closet nerd for this stuff. I love it.
No, I love it. Yeah. I don't know everything. I might be wrong on some things too, but I just kind of like absorb a lot of information from random places.
That's awesome, man. You've done good work, and I know you've inspired a lot of people to transform their lives too, because it's like what we talked earlier. Like, I don't mean, it's harsh when I say like, and I know it's harsh to say being fat's selfish, and the word fat's not necessarily appropriate either. I should be saying obese. But you're just inspiring people to transform. Like, again, whether you're 35 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight, whether you're 20 pounds underweight, doesn't matter. Like, let's just, in a community sense, transform all of our lives to be the healthiest versions of ourselves.
Yeah, it's really like all the same journey. No matter like what your goals are, still have to go through all the same things to change.
You're still probably pivoting your goals, your habits, your processes to always get to the next level.
Yeah.
What you're doing now is getting you to the next level, but at some point I'm going to assume that you're going to get to that level. And if you don't pivot your diet or how you're training, you're not going to get to the next level.
Yeah, exactly.
So with that, let's talk a little bit more about working out, right? We talk about how it's very simple. You can walk out, go to YouTube, and type in a 30-minute workout and find something. And by the way, they work great. I do them all the time.
Yeah, I used to do those all the time. I forgot to add that into there. We used to watch a lot of like YouTube videos and just follow them.
I still do it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it served me up to this point.
Yeah. Well, it gives you somebody, it kind of gives you like a workout buddy a little bit. Like, even though it's not real, it's just kind of like, oh, he's doing it. I can see it. I have to do it too.
Yeah. They've been great, to say the least. And I love that it's like a customized approach personally, because it's like, I like to do legs and abs on the same day. I don't know if that's a right way to do things, but it's just been working. And so I like the ability to stay 30-minute leg and ab workout. And it gives me something. And it makes it simple, easy, and simple to follow. But for somebody that's ready to take it to the next level, we'll just say, how can they start to more customize their workout plans? Like, how do they determine what machines to use? How do they determine when to use free weights? How do they determine when to just do body weight?
So it depends on like what kind of split you're going to follow. I would definitely find like a skeleton framework of like what body parts you want to hit on what day. And then that will kind of like lead you into kind of designing your own like custom workout that's for you, because not everybody responds the same to like machines. Like I have, or just any exercise, honestly. Like I have friends that like absolutely love certain exercises and they feel great and they work good for them. But I hate those exercises and they like mess up my shoulder, like different body parts. And they just like don't feel good and don't get results. So you kind of have to customize it to yourself. But as long as you come up with like that framework of like what body parts you're going to be hitting on that day, most of the time, like the gym or the machines at the gym will like tell you what body part it's going to hit. And I would start with machines probably first, because it just kind of is an easy way to get started, because it tells you how to do it. There's like pictures on the machine, what muscle it hits and stuff like that. And it's also controlled and not very dangerous. Like you're not going to drop a bar on yourself like on accident and hurt yourself seriously. But that probably would be what I would say be a good starting point. And then once you get more confident with that and you maybe meet more people at the gym and kind of ask them for help or watch them work out, then you can kind of like branch off into doing like more free weight stuff and things like that.
And that begs the question is what ultimately builds more muscle? And maybe it's not. Like my personal thought process is like with a free weight, not only are you doing the workout itself, but you're also having to balance that free weight, which naturally probably builds some more of the micro muscles. And I'm very unknowledgeable in this.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it does. It's definitely more like free weights are definitely more like functional training. You can definitely get big with them, but you can also utilize that. Like if you're comfortable doing free weights, like I usually will do free weights first because all of those like little muscles, the stabilizing ones, aren't tired and it's not going to be dangerous. So I can like do those heavy compound lifts first. And then once my muscles are tired, probably don't want to go and like do another really heavy free weight movement because it's more unstable and more likely to hurt me. So I'll go and do a machine where it's more like perfectly targeted and it's not going to hit those, it's not going to be unstable. So it's like a lot safer. But either way, like you could just go and do straight just machines and it would build the same amount of muscle that free weights would do. It just depends on like the rep ranges that you do things and how close you get to failure and stuff like that and the tempo that you do your workouts with and things like that. But they're both, you can build muscle doing either one.
Gotcha. So a couple of things come to mind that are more curious questions. Sometimes you see that rock climber dude that's like very skinny that lifts more than bodybuilders. Why is that?
It's so yeah, it's like the style of training. So like it's kind of like they're kind of like a power lifter a little bit where they'll like your muscles don't have to be big to be strong. Like if you look at like power lifters and stuff like that, like there's bodybuilders that are way bigger than them, but that power lifter, like that skinny dude can lift so much more than these bodybuilders can, but they just can't do it for as many reps as the bodybuilders could. So it's just kind of like how you train yourself. Like your muscle, like they have really small muscles, but they're like extremely dense and strong, and their tendons are also like super strong. But bodybuilders, just like myself, I try to do more, like I just try to gain more size in that muscle. Like I still get stronger over time, but I'm not as strong as they would be because they only do like a few reps. Like they'll do like really heavy deadlifts for like 1 to 3 reps, and I'm doing like 8 to 12 ish, something like that. So it's a lot different of like a style of training, and your body kind of adapts differently. So it's kind of like that.
Gotcha. So second question is, how do you determine the amount of reps and sets that you do per workout?
You usually, like, it depends on, you kind of have to, it's an individual thing, like mostly, but like a general recommendation, like I've heard, like if you're starting going out to the gym and you want to get bigger muscles and you just like don't know what you're doing, I do like maybe 3 sets of 10 and just figure out like a weight that's heavy enough for you that once you get close to that 10 that you're almost done, or at least a few reps from failure. Just anything that puts you close to that failure point, because that's what triggers your muscles to grow. You have to put them in like an uncomfortable position where they're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this again. I better grow so that I can handle this next time this happens.
And what comes to mind is, I forget the exact quote, but the Navy SEALs state that, it's not an exact quote, but I believe it's something around the 60% mark, that when you feel you're at failure, you've only done about 40% of what you're capable of doing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think it gets more and more the more you hit that failure point, like, and you really know what it is. I feel like honestly, I didn't know what my actual failure point was until like probably a year ago or a year and a half ago, after when I've been working out for like 5 years. Like you kind of have to either have someone else push you and show you what your actual failure point is, or you find it on your own. Because I feel like it's always like increasing until you are pretty confident that you found it. and then you kind of can know that that's where you need to go every time.
That's fair. So I assume failures, when you get to your failure position, is essentially when you stop working out. Is that fair to say? Like, how does somebody, let's say they're in the middle of a set, how do they determine I probably should stop before I hurt myself?
Yeah. So yeah, this is only for like if you're trying to like get the most out of like the gym and like the most muscle growth you possibly can. So if you're like working out normally, I wouldn't recommend doing this, like unless you're, I don't know. It just depends on your goals, honestly. You don't have to go to failure to build muscle. It's just like the most optimal way. That's like what I do. But definitely like once you can stop lifting the weight with good form, then you should probably stop.
Okay.
So once your form starts to get bad, you probably should stop. Yeah. That's what I would recommend. So you don't hurt yourself.
There's my arm. Can't work out for 6 months now.
Yeah. Once it's not controlled anymore, then you probably should stop.
Okay, good to know. So let's talk more about the bodybuilding mentality, right? Because working out, you work out 4 times a week for an hour, give or take. That's commitment. Life gets busy. How do you, like, what does it take to be a bodybuilder in the mind?
It definitely takes like a lot of sacrifices with like little things in your life. Like you're going to miss out on some things just because your goal is like to achieve your goal. It's just like a lot of little sacrifices. Like I have to like stay up later at night or something like that, or miss like going to something because I need to make food, or I need to go to the gym or something like that. Or it's just like we were talking about earlier. It's just like little sacrifices that you have to make every day, and having like that end goal in mind. Because if you really want to do it and you really want it, then you'll do it, like whatever it takes. It's not going to be easy at all, but you just got to make it happen no matter what. Just bend your life around that one goal. That's what I try to do as much as I possibly can. Obviously, I'm not perfect, and I don't like get all of my meals in all the time. I don't sleep perfectly all the time. Sometimes I'll come home from the gym and I'm like, crap, I could have done more on that one. Like, but I'm always like adjusting and trying to keep it as perfect as I can make it, so it's like the most optimal. But just thinking about it all the time and just having that end goal is what keeps me going.
Have you ever thought about quitting? Like, has it been a thought process of maybe I should just stop?
Yeah, definitely. I've gotten in like some pretty low points before for sure. And I'm just like sit there, especially after like hard workout or something like that, or I've like just missed all of my meals for the whole day. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, why am I even trying? If I can't go all the way, like you're never going to make it. If you can't be perfect, then I have to remind myself, like, you're still human. Everyone does that. Like no one can be absolutely perfect at everything, but the fact that you'll like get up tomorrow and still try to make it better than it was yesterday is like improvement. That's all that matters.
Do you feel, I'm sure now that you're at this point, the thought process of should I quit probably lasts you like 5 seconds now, when in the past it may have lasted a day or 2 days, like, oh, should I really be doing this?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, fair? It kind of has a little, the further along you get, it makes it easier to kind of keep going. Just that, like, you know, when you like first started trying to build a habit, like the first 30 days are the hardest thing ever. And now it's just kind of like, oh, I'm going to the gym today. But before it was like, oh crap, I have to go to the gym. I don't know if I want to do this. I'd have to like talk myself up to it and stuff like that. And then be like, okay, I'm ready to go. But now it's just like, oh, it's just what we do. Like, we just got to go. It's still hard sometimes, but it's a lot less resistant.
You mentioned like you still have to like force yourself to eat often.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you still have to force yourself to go to the gym, or do you always look forward to that?
No, yeah, I have to force myself to do it too. It doesn't just get to a point where it's just easy.
I honestly hate working out.
Really? Yeah.
Dude.
Some days I do too. Like, it's just not enjoyable. I'm like, I need to get out of here.
My thing is I love running. So I played
really?
soccer growing up. It was my main sport. And I genuinely love running. Like, if you wanted to go run after this, you wouldn't have to convince me. I don't need to listen to music, anything. For some reason, it's like a meditation. I get to sit with my thoughts for 30 minutes, an hour, going on a run in the middle of nature. Obviously, if I get to choose where I'm going to go on a nature run.
Yeah.
But working out, I always have to convince myself. Like, dude, not fun. Like, but again, it's the benefits that are addicting. Like, I feel so good. I feel like I can go conquer the world now.
Yeah, exactly.
Or my confidence of like even losing 35 pounds. Like I'm not, am I where I want to be at right now? No, I'm not. I still have a long ways to go. I show up more prominently on my podcast. I can go to a networking event and feel way better about myself. Like just the concept of, no, I don't like the working out, but the benefits overweigh the hardship of going to work out. That's why you do it, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
This podcast, this is what I live for, but this is 10-20% of the podcast is sitting here. The other 80% is the editing, which my wife does most of it, but I'm gonna take the credit. It's the posting, but there's also the creative aspect. There's the sales aspect. Like obviously we've been friends now for a while now, so me and you creating a podcast is pretty simple. But if I'm going to grow this podcast, I always have to be asking other people to come on the show. Now it's getting easier where there's quite a bit of people that ask to come on. So we're months out with guests, which is great. Joe Rogan's is also like a year out. Like he has his guests planned out for a year, which is insane. But it's that hard work that's paid off. The podcast, I don't enjoy everything about it. I enjoy the 10 or 20%. It makes it worth it for the other 80%.
Yeah, because you're always growing. It's not like you just stay in one spot. You're always like trying to up your game with everything, so it's always going to be difficult.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is you don't need to enjoy everything about what you love, right? Like we talk about, I fundamentally believe that whatever you love is what you should pursue in life. Because the truth is there's millionaires in every industry. There's authors making $1 million a year. There's car detailers like you and your fiance, and you like there's millionaires in that industry. There's millionaires in the housing industry, like you name it. There's millionaires in every industry. So that's why I have a prominent belief that you should do what you love. But what you love, you also have to do the things that you don't love to make it happen if you're going to make money doing it.
Yeah. That was like a hard thing too. That's what like kind of would drive that, like I should quit, was because I'm like, I love this. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you not want to go? Like, I thought this was like your thing, but I kind of had to figure that out too, where it's like, yeah, it is your thing and you love it, but it's not going to be easy all the time. Like, it's the same thing.
Exactly.
But that's what also makes it rewarding, because if it wasn't hard, then it wouldn't be rewarding at all.
Absolutely. Well, it's like the artist too. What they enjoy is sitting in their chair and painting or drawing or whatever it is they do. If they're going to make money, they're going to need to learn to market themselves, how to network, communicate, sell, run a business, if they're going to turn it into what they need to make money with. You learned how to build muscle, how to lose weight, how to do that. You then had to learn how to go to a show, prep for a show. I can only assume that week to 2 weeks or even a month before a show is probably more draining than the other training. I would assume. Maybe I'm wrong.
Definitely. Yeah. So you have no food in you. Like there's no energy. Your body's like just fighting against you the whole time.
So it's like every level you get to, there's a new skill to develop, and it doesn't necessarily make it fun.
Yeah. But then you find joy in it once you learn it, because then you're learning new skills and then you're making your dream happen. So it's worth it.
And how long are you depriving? I don't know if the right word's depriving yourself of food for a show.
Well, I usually start about a month and a half out. I'll start like dropping the calories slowly, because you don't want to do it too fast, because your body actually will eat away muscle before it will eat away fat, because fat's like its absolute like emergency store, and muscle's like really expensive to maintain in your body. Like it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of blood flow, like, and it's yeah, it's just a lot to carry around. So it will waste that first. And it also has amino acids in your muscle that it will break down to give you energy when you're not eating food. So you kind of have to be careful. You kind of have to like taper it off slowly. So it'll taper off the fat instead of the muscle.
Sure.
Because then you'll just lose all your muscle and then you'll just have fat on you and you're like, oh crap.
So that's a process, a 1.5-month process. How long are you on stage for?
Probably like 30 seconds to a minute.
So and that's exactly the point, right? Is you spend a 1.5 months preparing for a minute of your life.
Yeah. And then also years for the training on top of that.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
But that minute of pleasure, well, let's just call it a day. Like, let's be real. There's the adrenaline, the minute, and then the happy emotions that come after. You get a day's benefit after days of hard work, and it's worth it. And that's why you do it.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a blip of time for that time. And at some point you'll have sponsorships, clothing brands, maybe you have your, how am I forgetting?
The pre-workout.
Pre-workout. Yeah. You have your pre-workout, like you're building a brand around yourself, and it's exciting to watch you grow.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's been the thing I've been working on recently, is trying to get that out there. And because I'm not a very extroverted person, so I kind of have to like turn myself into that to like market it on social media and like go up to people and be like, oh, you should try this or something. Because that's not me. I don't do that.
You start leaving around the gym and
hope
people get the hint.
I thought about that. Like, what if I just like threw it in their bag if it's open or something? Like, it's probably kind of weird though. Can't really do that.
You never know.
Yeah, it's true.
You could go to the just an idea. May work, maybe not. Go to the local gyms around here and ask to set a table up for a day.
Yeah, I definitely have thought about that. I just need to actually execute it.
That's my challenge to you.
Oh, yeah,
By the time this podcast launches, you're going to have like a table in a gym.
Yeah.
Anyways, man, I could talk to you for hours upon hours. You genuinely know your craft very well, and I'm excited for everybody else, no matter what journey they're on, losing weight, gaining weight, maintaining. They can learn from you.
I'm still learning as well. But yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm still only 20 years old, so I got a lot left to learn.
Oh, absolutely. We're all along that journey, and the cool thing is you're lots of steps ahead of other people. You also have people lots of steps ahead of you, so you can help everybody behind you.
True.
With that in mind, if you had one last piece of advice for the audience, what would that be? Whether that's spirit, mental, physical, like what would that be?
Just like take care of yourself, just because it's the only body you have. So just make your life more enjoyable by making the vehicle that gets you everywhere like more healthy or able. Probably be the thing I'd say.
I love that. And the question that I ask everybody is, what's your definition of an authentic life?
I feel like it's one that you're being true to yourself and sticking to like what you say. Like if you say that you're going to go do something and you stick to it, that's like keeping it authentic, because you're keeping your promises to yourself, because that's the most important person to keep promises to.
Powerful. I love that, man. How can I and my audience be supporting you?
You could go over to bentsupplements.com, BENT, and then supplements, and try out my pre-workout if you go to the gym. It's got as much caffeine in it as a 12-ounce cup of coffee, because I don't like a lot. It's nice, no jitters, and nootropics, pump, everything. So I'm sure you'll love it. Sour green apple flavor. And I got hoodies and shirts and stuff like that. So if you want to try it out, just go check it out.
I love it. We'll drop the link below as well. So go check it out, you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Journey to Authenticity episode today. If you liked what you heard from both myself and Caden, I would encourage you to go ahead and subscribe and leave a review. This helps me to get the most optimal guest that brings education, entertainment, to be able to help you transform your life. Also, while I have you here, I want to bring your attention to my one-on-one coaching. If you're ready to truly transform your life, yourself, your relationships, I'm here for you, and I want to help you guide through that process. That in mind, either go to braidenbelnap.com or my link below, and I'll be looking forward to working with you.